Hey guys, it's RG here. Welcome to our Mixed Media Club. Super excited because we get to bring this gorgeous project to life. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's already in the very high, like as in 99 high 90s here in Arizona. So it's starting to heat up here in the valley. Super excited. And I'm here today, of course, in the studio with Gabby. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Hello.
¿Cómo está? And of course, Richie's here with me today because Gabby is going to have to step away sometime during the show or during the class to deal with some stuff from church. So super excited. I can't wait to see if Richie messes this up or not. It's going to be interesting to see that come to life. So I do apologize in the event that he does mess this up, but it's his first time. So what? Huh? You mean, oh yeah, they can come to the camera. They wanted to know if you guys can come to the camera. So come and say hello, guys. ¿Cómo están? Muchas gracias.
Hi, everyone.
This is
And this
Gabby,
is
and that's Richie. And today you're going to do videos.
Yay.
Today's going to do videos. I think he's really excited. I can see it through his face. And he's got that look in his face when he was like 2 years old. When you were 2 years old, that's the face when you were excited about milk.
What?
What?
Okay.
You guys can go now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So again, guys, we're super excited to be able to, I don't know, I have duck feet on my fingers. Duck feet. And we've got a great class planned today with so many crazy things this week. This has been a crazy week. Can we just say crazy week? Hashtag crazy week. Ever since Monday, like one after another after another. But you know what? We serve an amazing God. And here we are still creating beautiful things and making creativity come to life. So if we can switch over to our overhead or our top view, we can look a little bit at the homework from yesterday. Hopefully you had the opportunity to go in and do this already. If not, you can always catch up down the road. Of course, the great part is that you always have the opportunity to replay any of the class tonight. And it's now time for us to bring this project to life. Now, I didn't ask you guys to color your download because you don't have to. We're going to technically color it during our class time. And I didn't use my scan and cut because I like to cut this one out by hand. Now, you do have a couple of different grading options in the event that you decide you want to use one or the other or potentially both. So it's completely and totally up to you. And how crazy am I? I still have the pad from last night's video. Sorry about that. And so here we got a couple of different projects. Now, yesterday I had you guys use the modeling paste. You should have some left over. If you didn't, that's perfectly okay. My project is completely dry, but I did mine's last night. Did I say mines? I did mine last night. So it's completely dry. It should dry fairly quickly, like within an hour or two. So again, if you caught a glimpse of my live to our special group yesterday, you've had the opportunity to come in and see this. Now, if for whatever reason you did not catch that video, you might need to go back and rewatch it so that I can show you, so that you can see how I made the tree form. I believe Kat has actually sent you guys an email with the video in case you're not on Facebook, for you guys to be able to watch that. I think I'm talking too much.
She added a link to the email.
Oh, sweet. So she added the link to the... Now, wait. If they're not on Facebook, though, can they still watch that?
I think she sent it on an well, I don't know.
Or does it take them to Facebook where they have to watch it on
That's a good
Facebook?
question.
Good question. Let us know, guys, because if for whatever reason you do not have access to that video, I definitely want to make sure I demonstrate it again before the end of this class. So please feel free to jump in and let us know. You should also have a little baggie with some twine and some crystals on there. Some twine. And lastly, you should have 5 different colors of acrylic paint. So there's a brown, there's a black, there's a yellow green, there's a green, and there's a blank. So we're going to play with all these colors and we're going to make it come to life. You should also have a container of gesso. Let's go ahead and open up that container of gesso now. I understand some of you guys are going to watch now and then create the project later. Totally cool. Totally fine. I'm just gonna grab a brush, or you can grab a foam brush if you like. And I'm gonna start applying my gesso.
This will work, right?
Yeah. And again, what the gesso is going to do is going to prepare our surface for the various different mediums that we're going to apply. Now, remember, guys, this is going to be our last canvas for a little bit. We're going to move into different types of mixed media projects moving forward, maybe for the next 2 to 3 months. And I promise I'll bring canvases back. I just kind of wanted to go through a variety of different basic techniques before we start moving into some other fun projects. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. Again, the idea is that I want you guys to get comfortable with a variety of different mixed media techniques. Now, if for whatever reason you guys are like, you know what, can we just keep on making canvases? I'm perfectly okay with that too, guys. It's totally up to you, because of course, ultimately this class is designed for you and to be able to learn new things. So feel free to jump on in and say, yeah, you know, we'd rather have some of this or more of this. Some of you, like me, might be covering up a whole wall of canvases you've created. I know I'm trying to do that. And it's looking so pretty with all the different canvases we've done. And so I'm probably still going to create canvases anyway. But let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right, so I've completely covered. I'm going to use my gesso again in a little bit, so I have to make sure I cover that up so it doesn't dry out on me. And I'm going to use my heat tool so I can speed up the process here. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
Rose loves the canvases. Of course she does.
Rose is the one who got me hooked on canvases, actually. Can I get a cup of water for my brush, please? I have this one, but it's dirty. Hey, well, I suppose you can rinse it, thank you. So I am just kind of speeding up the process. Richie, you do know these classes are 4 hours. What? You know the classes are 4 hours now.
That's fine.
Okay. Just want to make sure your expectations are about right. How's everybody doing? Have they answered the question? Babe, he's not reading me the comments.
Nobody's answered the question.
Okay.
Sandra loves the canvases too.
Hi, Sandra!
But she also likes new things, she says.
Yeah, we're going to definitely work on a couple of new things that I think are going to be kind of cool. Maybe what we could do is try a couple of months and then we can go back to canvases. How's that?
Rose says a book might be cool.
What?
Rose says a book might be cool.
I can't hear you, Richie. You got to enunciate.
Rose says a book might be cool.
Why are you yelling?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can leave you two alone.
All right, so this should be pretty dry. Now, what you notice, what happened is we were able to now make it a complete white surface. We had originally created the background, and the modeling paste tends to have a different, it's not really a white color. But this is great because now we're able to jump on in here and start playing around with a variety of different colors. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna grab one of the bags where my downloads comes in, and I'm gonna use that as my palette creator. So I'm gonna kind of zoom out a little bit here, just so that you can kind of see my baggie here. Now, if you happen to have a palette, I have a palette, but like I use it for photos, and so I end up not cleaning it. So it kind of defeats the purpose. But it looks great in my photos. So I end up you know, just, I wonder if I can put, well, see, it's because it's already dry. Why not? I'm just gonna bring it in here, just so that I don't waste a good bag. Let's reuse, reduce, recycle, guys. I'm in this whole recycling phase of my life where we should do good for the planet. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is, let me see what I've got here. I should have a little, I don't see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab some water. And I'm gonna just bring in a little bit of water here to my blue. Just a little bit of water. And I'm gonna go finger painting again. If you decide you wanna use a brush, you can use a brush. Now, you know what? When I was in Texas at Sandra's house, she had a really cool soap. Was it a soap or was it a rock? I can't remember. Because, you know, they're kind of the same. No. But anyway, something that she uses to clean your hands. So it's kind of designed to clean your hands. If you're all full of inky fingers and stuff like that, like it makes your fingers back to normal. In my case, brown.
Sandra says it's a rock.
It's a rock, right? I could have sworn, but I didn't want to sound like a loser. You're like a rock, RG. I knew it was a rock. I knew it was all right, so what we've done is I've started my first coat of blue. Now we're going to darken this significantly because the idea is that it's going to be sunsetting. Now remember, because we brought the tree a little bit lower, I now have extra sky space on the top. So this is going to get really interesting really fast, like really, really cool, because you're going to be able to see that transition and that definition. Now we can see our tree a little bit bolder, a little bit funner. Funner? Is it a word?
I don't think so.
Oh, snap.
Is he making up words?
I always make up words, FYI, if you haven't seen any of my videos, so don't judge me.
RG's big book of words.
Yeah, so there's going to be an RG encyclopedia of my own Richardisms coming out soon, just so that we're all on the same page. All right, guys, so see how we've added that blue. Now I've come back and I've added a few little darker blues, and we are going to get a little bit darker in tone in some of these areas. Now again, I have blue fingers, but that's okay because we can all go to Sandra's house and use her rock. What's with the rock? Where's that from?
Bugs Life, right?
Yes, you are my son. Alright, so I ended up dirtying my bag anyway. What the heck?
Gail's saying what's it called?
What's it called, Sandra? I can't remember what the rock is called, but it's pretty cool because it just cleans your hands right off. Now, you may not have any skin left, but on the upside, you also don't have any inks or mediums.
What kind of rock are we talking about here?
I think it actually might have soap in it. It's not just a rock, right? I think it actually has like soap in it. And I've just become really fond of using my fingers in my canvases because I think it just gives me really cool texture. So I'm just kind of giving this a quick sec to kind of do its thing.
So Sandra said I'll get you one.
Yay! It's not going to take the brown off, is it, Sandra? Because I don't want to be uneven. Because this is my painting hand. Then I'm going to have a brown hand and I'm going to have a non-brown hand. Alright. Okay, guys. The next color I'm going to bring in is I'm going to bring in some of this yellow. And it's kind of like my own mixture. It's kind of looks like a neon green. But basically I mix in a real yellow and then I mix in a golden green. Which is kind of what's creating this color. Now, what I really love about this formulation is that it's gonna really bring some cool highlights to the tree. So similar to what we've already done, I've got a little bit of that color on there. I'm going to bring in some water. Some water. And just kind of mix that up there. Now again, if you don't have one of these little palette thingies, you can just put it on your plastic bag. It's perfectly all right. Or you might have like one of those mats that we got from Art Anthology. That would be cool too, because then you can just kind of wipe it off.
So I guess Sandra's saying it's like a pumice stone.
Yeah, it is like a bit. I don't remember. Does it actually have like some sort of
Something
soapy in it, or is it just the stone itself? Like you use regular
It
soap.
might just be the stone. So.
Okay, guys. So I'm bringing in some of this Jello.
That's
Ooh, now I want Jello.
what?
And just bring in that yellow first. We're gonna start creating some cool layers. Now remember we talked about that sunset, so I'm gonna bring in some of that Jello. Jello, and I'm gonna kind of apply it. I'm gonna dip my fingers in water, bring it in here, and I'm gonna start kind of adding a little of that Jello. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm saying it like that now. See, now I'm gonna get stuck saying it. Bring in some of that yellow into. It's kind of like a yellow green too. So don't be deceived by the color. Into that blue, and you're gonna start to see that transition here in a second. It's really, really cool. And it seems like I'm removing some of that blue. It's perfectly all right. It's just moving color around.
She just remembered Rose. She's asking where is her craft mat from Art Anthology.
Who said that?
Rose.
Just remembered.
Just remembered. And then Sandra's saying that you just use soap with the.
Oh,
with the
okay,
rock.
yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All I remember is thinking the rock was pretty cool. I was like, what's with the rock?
And Rose likes to use cottage cheese container lids as her palette, like for her.
Cottage cheese container lids. What if you don't eat cottage cheese?
Sour cream?
Oh, so it's not. It doesn't have to be a cottage cheese.
I don't think so. A plastic lid.
Oh, like a plastic lid. All right. So here we've got a few. We've added our jellos. We've added our yellows. We've added our blues. We've added a little bit of that hint of that golden green. And you can almost see that golden green kind of pop through, which is really, really cool. Don't worry about any blotches or things like that are missing pieces. I must have missed a little bit. And that's the difference. So here means that I just probably missed a little bit of gesso. Is that crazy? The difference between the way that the color is grabbed once there's gesso applied to it, that's absolutely amazing. So you can kind of see that, but I'm not worried because we're going to come back and we're going to darken the whole scene. And remember, no two canvases are ever alike, right? Because paint's going to just grab differently. It's going to shift differently. It's going to create some really, really cool movement. And it's ultimately what we want. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my brown. I'm going to put some brown in this empty color. And we're going to start to add brown to our tree. Now, not all of your yellow should be actually dry, which is perfectly all right. It's okay if it blends into your brown. It's just going to lighten it to create a little bit of a caramel color. If we decide, if it's not giving us the caramel color that we want, we're going to come back and marry it to some more of that yellow-green color. So I'm just mixing in that white. I'm sorry, that brown. Where did white come from? I'm mixing in that brown. Probably added a little bit too much. Let me make sure I've got some water on there. So I'm just putting a little bit of water with my finger because I don't want the color to like just drop. And here comes my brown. And we're gonna do several quotes of this, guys. What is it?
I'll be back.
You're leaving already?
No, not yet. I'm gonna go to
So we're starting to add that brown.
Kathy says hi.
Hi, Kat. Kat's having a baby tomorrow. We decided we're just sending her into the hospital and just say, you know what, this girl's in doubt and she's gonna pop it out. So tomorrow we get to finally meet baby Kaden. So that's exciting. So send my girl Kat some good wishes tomorrow. Now check out what just happened, guys. So again, we've got our yellow green in the background and we've added that first coat of brown. Now we're gonna come back and add more layers. It's gonna get darker, but we definitely want it to sit in all the textures and the grooves of your modeling paste. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And it's gonna create an amazing piece. Now, we're gonna come back, we're gonna kind of like darken it a little bit more, but we definitely want that to sit in some of those nooks and crannies. So we're gonna come back with our dryer. And I think it looks really, really cool.
Gail says using your fingers to apply the paint makes it look like a wood grain.
Yeah, it's exactly what it makes it look like, Gail. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And so will you once you see your finalized project. All right, so let me just let that sit for a quick little sec here. Now, how many of you are actually creating with us? It would be great to know, like, are you getting these really cool colors? Are you stuck anywhere? Now, while we're catching up, I was thinking about Rose earlier today, so I have these guys. And
Kathy asked if you'll be answering the emails while she's popping him out.
yes, Kat, I'll answer all your emails on Friday when you go back to your phone. Oh wait, then you can do it. Yay! So we're gonna pretend Rose is here at the class, just watching. All right, awesome. So now that it's kind of dry, I'm gonna add another coat of the brown. But this time a little bit less water. I'm actually not adding any more water to whatever water we had here. And it's gonna make it significantly darker. And now we start to get more. Now you'll notice that those grooves that we initially added color to just kind of intensify, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We only want hints of that golden green, just hints of it, okay? Because remember, this is a tree.
Rose needs those duck feet. She wants to know where you got them.
I had to get them because when I saw them, I'm like, oh, Rose. You can have them, Rose. I certainly don't want them. Super cool, guys. I love the way that it totally darkens. And now we're going to come back with a few more darker tones, but we definitely want that golden brown and dark brown tones to shine through. I'm going to come back with just a little bit more, darken some of the areas of the tree. I ended up getting brown here at the bottom, so I have to kind of wipe it off. So cool.
How's it going?
Good.
What's with the ducks?
They're watching. It's like Rose is here with us.
Okay. Oh, I see. Like what?
What?
Because I just noticed the duck feet.
I just keep adding more and more brown, guys, until I get the brown that I want. Remember, I'm not adding any additional water. And what's so great about applying it with your fingers is that you're not going to get a perfect stroke. Like, you're not going to get that brush stroke, which is exactly the look we want. We want it to look like a real tree. We want it to look like a real branch. And by doing this, you're going to pick up more of the texture from your modeling paste, which is ultimately what's going to give us that look.
I'm away. You don't need me to do anything with this.
I suppose not, please. All right, so I think I'm where I want to be there. So cool, right?
Super, super cool.
Super cool, super cool.
Try to make conversation.
All right, so while this one's gonna dry, we're gonna go ahead and grab our download and we're gonna start cutting it out, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Now, of course, if you have your digital cutting machine, you can use that. I like to get into the little nooks and crannies. So I will not be cutting it with my digital cutting machine. I'm gonna go old school a little bit. Now, do you guys actually display all your canvases? That would be so cool, like in your craft studio. That's fun. I'm displaying mine in our office upstairs. Because I got one of those little IKEA, I don't know what they were originally designed for. I suppose for photographs. Either photographs, I know sometimes they have candles on them, but they're like little ledges that go on the wall. But it's perfect because then I can just place my canvases on there and they look so cool in my office, right? Well, it's kind of a shared office with Gabby.
Really? Wow. Why do you say it like it's like, oh.
Her side is always messy and my
That's
side
because
is
I'm always
always
working.
purty.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm always working.
Mhm.
That
You know
is
what's
true.
hilarious is when it comes to my office, like where my computer is, I am notorious for keeping it as nice and neat as possible. But when it comes to my creative space where I create projects, woo,
Oh, that's a mess.
it's a catastrophe. Like I can't keep anything where it goes. But my office, like my computer, where my computers and like stuff like that, ooh, it's gotta be super stinking neat and organized and nothing out of place. Like it drives me nuts if I can't even work until everything's in its place.
In my defense, I want to say I'm the same way. It's just that I have papers to work with, but when I don't need them, they need to be out of my way.
So
because
she says.
Because I don't like to see clutter either.
I'm gonna take a picture of your clutter.
Even when I'm crafting, and you know this, I always put things, like if I'm done with the scissors, I put it back where I can't have it. Yeah, well, if you take a picture, you're probably going to destroy my desk, take a picture, and say, this is how our desk is.
And then I'm gonna make sure mine's is nice and neat. I'm gonna say
I'm sure
my
you are.
side, Gabby's side.
I'm sure you are.
I would do something like that. So again, I'm gonna get all the way in here, like I want as minimal amount of white to show without endangering the cutting off of my little branches and things like that.
So Sherry, she displays hers the minute you enter into her craft room.
Oh, how
Yeah.
fun.
Canvas. And Rose was like, don't ask about mine.
Where are yours, Rose?
She keeps it in the box.
You know what's so fun is that as soon as we're done with the class, we're all going to Rose's house to just go check out the studio. Like, ooh, I can't wait to see it. So stinking cute. Now I'm just kind of gauging the position because depending, like the last time, my original project, I actually had to trim off the branches and tuck them behind the nest, just so that I can, because of the tree, I originally designed the project with the tree too high. So this time, I would make the change in hopes that I didn't have to do that. So my baby graduates tomorrow, David, from high
You
school.
have lots of babies.
My baby
Your
number
second-
2
Your second baby.
graduates from high school tomorrow, so that's exciting. Now, of course, he is my artsy one, more musical art, which is why he opted not to go to a college at this particular moment. Oh, that one. He's too busy wanting to be in a band, play in a band, be a band. Some people's children, I tell you. Some people's children. I'm like, all right, well, I support the dream.
So Darlene, she's sharing with us that she has hers in her family room. She gave one away,
How fun.
and I guess she had a water leak in the wall, so that's not good. So she has things in boxes, and now she's organizing, everything. And then Rose, she's like, she has her canvas and displays. What she meant was, don't ask about her desk, because I'm sure that's.
Well, a true fact about Rose, she is a pen, marker, pencil hog.
That's all she has. Is her
So
desk.
you can't even see her desk because it is saturated, absolutely saturated with containers full of pens and markers and pencils and all of the above. I'm like, why do you need so many containers full of markers and pencils and anything you can think of? So that is Rose. It drives me up the bazooka wall. Because I'm like, I like to keep just like 2 or 3 little pencils in my little pencil holder. Like I don't like clutter on my desk. A couple of pretty things, maybe even one homemade thing, and that's pretty much it. But Rose likes markers. Sorry guys, this is taking me a lot longer than I thought. But look how pretty it's coming up.
You're really going into detail, aren't you?
Yeah, I do like to get these guys. I was hoping to be able to let you guys out early of class, but at the rate I'm going, I'm thinking not so much.
Oh no, Rose is like, oh yeah, you should see how many Aflac she has now. You can only imagine. I want to see Rose.
Quick, Rose, take a photo. And then put "Got Aflac." But whenever you need a pen from Rose at church, she never has one. I'm like, well, that's just dumb.
She likes them displayed in her desk. That's it.
She just want to give them away.
She's like, I'm like, don't worry, we don't have to take a pen. I'm sure Rose is going to have one. No, she does not. All right. So we have cut out our beautiful nest, and it's just going to display gorgeously right in between. Look how amazing that's going to look. Now, again, guys, it's a beautiful bird's nest. If you decided, you can also print out another download and add more of just the branches without the birds. You can simply just cut them out. I'll show you a sample of it. But obviously, it was originally intended just for this showcase of the beautiful bird's nest. You've kind of got the little eggs there. You can decide if you want to put the crystals, if you don't want to put the crystals. And then we're going to come back and we're going to blend all of this beautifully together. Gorgeous, amazing, fun. Love it, want it. Now, it could be sunrise, it could be sunset. It depends on the next color treatment. So if you decide, you know what, I love the idea of a beautiful sunrise, which is maybe the route I'm gonna go with here next, because the other one's a little bit darker tone. I want this one to be a little bit brighter, and so it's now time to bring that all beautifully to life. So because I'm gonna go with more of a sunrise in this particular canvas, my brown is pretty dry. I'm gonna come back with just a little bit more of that Jello.
You have a thing there. Take them.
Well, now you tell me.
Well, I was trying to get you on time, but. And then Rose is letting us know that she has like 6 pins in her church purse now, so just ask her.
Yay! She's finally moving on up.
Oh, that is.
So I'm just gonna test it a couple of times here. I'm gonna add a little bit of water with my finger this time. And if I bring in just a little bit of the blue, so I'm just gonna bring up. Did I say blue?
You said blue.
I'm sorry.
You meant brown.
I'm gonna bring in a little bit of that brown, just a tad bit, guys. I just want to darken it enough. So I'm gonna just bring in some more water here, and just with my fingers, I'm laying water down, and I'm gonna bring in some more. I want it to be that sunrise, okay? So it's more of a brighter. So pretty. More of that brighter. And this time I want to make sure I get all the little nooks and crannies. I don't want any white showing. So just make sure you just get on in there. Now I got some extra yellow on my tree. I don't want it. So I'm just going to wipe it right off with a wet wipe.
Wow, and nothing happens to it, huh?
Well, no, because your color's already dry. So we're just going to wipe that off. If you rub really hard, of course, it's not 100% set. So you might remove some of that brown, but nothing too crazy. Now you can see that the connection with the yellow, right? It's almost like we're getting ready for a sunrise. You can either go sunrise or sunset at this point, right? If you wanted to go sunset, you just start bringing in different colors. If you have different colors of acrylic, we can mix in some of the greens. We can mix in some of those colors. So what we've got here is we got some of this darker green. So let's go ahead and grab some of that green. And we're going to bring in some water, just a couple of drops. And we're going to bring in some of this yellow. Okay? We're going to make it a little bit lighter. Totally change the color, right? From that dark green to a brighter green. And I'm just going to bring in some of that green to the tree. Just slightly. It'll look really good with my leaves. So cool. I love that green in there. Maybe I'm going to bring in some more here. And on the top. Remember, this one's not as diluted. Now let me show you. You got some of that cool green in there, which is super, super cool. All right. Now what we want is we kind of want to mimic, grab your wet wipe. We want to kind of create that same color treatment on our printed element. So grab some of that. And right over your download, we want it to blend in perfectly. Did you see that? So amazing. So it's a perfect blend. Created with your wipe, guys. Because you don't want to put fingers on your actual cardstock. It'll dry instantly. We're going to do the same thing with our guy here. We're going to start with our yellows, and that's how we're going to color in. Now, I don't know if Patty's on here. Is Patty watching the class? Because I know she was originally asking about potentially turning her tree the opposite direction. Now, your download's designed to go this way, but if you wanted to turn your tree in the opposite direction, you can simply snip off your branches and place them going the other way. So like basically turn it around and have it coming the other way. So what I would probably do is I'll probably show you. Oh wait, I was covering. Hello.
You got distracted.
Got distracted.
I don't see her on here.
Patty distracted me.
Oh, Sandra's letting us know her husband had surgery. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So really cool, guys. Remember, you want to eliminate all the white in this particular download on the edges so that it does not look like it doesn't belong. We definitely want it to look like it belongs. So now we're going to grab some green again with our baby wipe. And it just kind of looks so cool. It starts to pick up color. We're going to come back with some of those browns. And it's a dirty wipe, so you don't even have to worry about. And look at that. I mean, we really start to see shape and form here. And I'm going to bring in some blue, some brown onto the birdie there, and then that branch. Don't be afraid, guys. It's just color, okay? So that's just kind of like the key thing here is don't be afraid of mixed media. Don't be afraid of color because it can always be repaired.
Now you can also use paintbrush, right?
You could use a paintbrush, but it might get a little, it might be too perfect. And it makes it very difficult to play with sometimes. Especially when we're doing a project like this. Like we definitely want to make sure, and I'm just bringing in that brown in here. Can you guys see that? Can you see it's coming together beautifully? Now let me kind of bring this up for a quick update. Now you can't tell because my fingers are green and blue and yellow, but check out what happens when we bring it to our page. Now if you want, you can bring in some of that blue to your bird. That's super cute. Just brings in some of that blue to the one bird, maybe even the second one, like this. Now I've turned it into a finch.
A finch. Cute bird.
So cute, right? So many different options here. And again, what we're trying to avoid is all of those white spots, because if not, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And we don't want that. We want it to kind of just blend in beautifully. We want it to look like it's part of the tree. Check it out. So pretty. All right, so what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna let you guys catch up. We're gonna take a short little break. Hopefully you're gonna come back. You're gonna finish coloring your bird. That sounds funny. You're gonna finish coloring your bird, and you're gonna finish coloring all your different pieces. And then we're just gonna take a short little break so that Gabby and Richie can each run to the potty. I'm just gonna stand here waiting for everybody, and then we'll be right back in just a few more minutes. Hey guys, we are back. I hope you had enough time to do your 7-inning stretch, and it's time to come back and start wrapping up our project. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over to our top view here, where I've obviously made a mess. And Gabby has just recently stepped out. She has to go take care of something for our local church. But right now it still looks very unfinished to me. It's time to kind of wrap it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my palette. Now you should have a thing of black paint. I'm going to bring in black paint here. And I'm almost going to kind of like zero in here on with my black paint. I'm going to bring in some water, and just kind of mix that up. Again, nothing too fancy. I hope everybody's caught up. I don't know how many of you are just watching or creating. And using a wet wipe, I'm going to start to come in and I'm going to darken my edges. You know what? I'm going to come in first with my fingers and then I'll come back with my wet wipes to kind of remove some of that color. So it's that darker finished look, which is what I'm ultimately going for here. I'm just going to kind of like zero that in. Look how cool that looks like. It really starts turning it into that sunrise look. It almost like darkens your edges and you start to see like, okay, the sun's going to start to come out. Night's going away. So cool. How's it going with this, guys? I know sometimes this could be a little bit scary, but don't be afraid. It's just paint. It's just color that we're adding. It really adds that final finished look. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to dry this up real quick. Just kind of dry this little area real quick here. Now I'm going to add my sentiment. When in doubt, pop it out. We're going to pop this guy right out using some foam squares. How's it going, guys? I want to know. Are you doing this? Are you having fun? Is it exciting to see it come to life? Is it scary?
I actually think it's pretty nice. Me personally.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Okay, so now I'm going to bring in more black. And grabbing my brush, I'm going to add some splatter. When it matters, splatter. Is what. Here we go. We're going to bring in those dots. So cool. Excellent. Now we can bring our heat tool.
Rose is loving it.
Huh?
Rose is loving it because she loves how it all comes together.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. All right, now we need to start laying down the nest. And we're gonna pop this guy right out as well. Now, before we do that, there's some twine in your little pack, so let's go ahead and take that out. And we wanna kind of stretch that out. And we want kind of like big loops, okay? So just kind of go ahead and loop that. We're going to try to double loop. So we're going to loop once to the one side. We're going to kind of hold it down with a foam square. And we're going to kind of loop around. A second time because the twine is really going to help build that nest. So I just kind of went 3 times, 3 times. Excellent. And now it's time to kind of place down our download. I absolutely love this project. I think it's such a cool piece to share. So fun, right? Check it out, guys. I love the way that bird nets just sits on the branches that we've created here. And again, we just kind of just randomly created them on a whim. We're gonna come back. And what I say by that is that there was no actual template yesterday during that live. Now, did anybody answer the question about if everybody has access to the educational video on how we created that texture? I don't remember if we actually got an answer. So I'm gonna start to place these crystals kind of like in a little spiral format right in the center. Then I'm just gonna come back to highlight that download. With some resin.
So that just gives it texture.
Yeah, it's gonna give it some great texture. And it's also going to highlight the actual printed design. How's it going, guys? Check it out. I love the crystals, you know, as a kind of like a sign, like that's where the home is.
Oh, because your eggs.
Yeah, it's their little eggs. It's what they're protecting. They're protecting their treasure, which is home, their family. So I love it, and it's completely different from my original. We went more for a sunrise versus a sunset, which is kind of cool. Let me kind of show you the differences between the two. And I love the double branch versus the one single branch. Check it out. So the original one had all the, this one I feel like pops a little bit more. It's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit cheerier. And I love it. Now, if you wanted to, you can add some glitter sparkles to that. It's not necessary. I love the colors of the birds. And again, it was all done with our just wipes and the acrylic colors that came in your kit. Super, super, super amazing. Now, again, I'm excited because I get to actually place this over on my display board, and you get the opportunity to see all the different canvases that you've created and you've brought to life. So I love adding that black shadowing or component. I feel like it really brings your project together. It makes it look more finished. I wish I had a before and after so I can show you the comparison with the black, without the black, but of course we only have the one that we're working on while we're going live. But I believe that the gorgeous, gorgeous colors created in our canvas are so much fun, guys. So I hope you guys are excited. Do we have any questions out there from anyone? Everything got squared away? You're good? Perfect. Guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's class. I cannot wait to see everybody's finished project and finished canvas. Now, if you wanted to, you can go back and add a darker edge. You can decide to go with a darker, you know, kind of a sunset. Bring in some oranges in there. Bring in some purples. There's so many possibilities with the various different mediums that are available out in today's market. And as we dive into next month's project, again, I have a completely different idea. We're going to step away from canvases for just a couple of months because I want you to play with other types of products and how we take them from a regular product or a project into a mixed media project, and we're going to fuse different elements together, a few different little findings that are going to create a beautiful, beautiful project that you're sure to want to display. Now, I know it's going to mess up your little collection of canvases, but I assure you we will get back to canvases in a couple of months. I just want you to play with other mediums, with other findings, so that you can know how to alter those metal pieces or learn how to alter a variety of different things. I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait to take you on this creative adventure as we dive into more of our mixed media projects. I hope you had a blast tonight, and remember to share your projects on social media so that we can all admire them and see them come to life. Guys, thanks again for joining me today. I hope you had a blast. Remember to continue to create the life you want and make amazing happen. Buenas noches.